Please go live. All right, we are live. We are sorry about that, folks. I am not beating technology today. My laptop is a piece of shit. It is, once again. But yes, this is Sundays with the General. We are here. It is me and just Luke this week. Hopefully we stay on line this time. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
But as we were starting to allude to, hold on, getting my banners up. Julio Jones traded to the Titans today for, what was it, a second?
Pretty much a second.
Round. It was a second and a 2023 fourth.
Yeah.
And they got Julio Jones and it was sixth rounder this year and next year. But
yeah.
What do you think of this landing spot, Luke? Because I like it. I
love it for the Titans if he stays healthy. That's the biggest 100%. Thing. If this man stays healthy, Ryan Tannehill's down the field game is up 10%. AJ Brown
100%.
Not double covered anymore. It's going to go all back to Julio Jones. AJ Brown's going to go nuts.
And
it all
not for nothing,
on Ryan Tannehill is what it really comes down to. Derrick Henry's still going to get his, but now that you have an actual play action pass game with Julio Jones on the outside, it's absolutely could be a headache for that AFC South.
Well, I was just going to say, people aren't talking about what this really does for Derrick Henry. I've seen people say that it takes away from his carries. Sure. But maybe they'll throw the ball a little more and he might run the ball a little less. But here's the thing. You cannot stack the box against the Titans when they have Julio Jones and AJ Brown on the outside. You cannot. It does. So it's going to be easier for Derrick Henry to run the ball, even if he gets less carries.
He'll have the gap.
You might see easier production.
They're going to have to go more dime and nickel than ever in that AFC South.
Yeah,
they have to.
I mean, like you said, it depends on Ryan Tannehill. I like Ryan Tannehill.
Honestly, he hasn't had a weapon like this ever. Even when he was in Miami, he never had a Julio.
No, he never had anything when he was in Miami.
He never had a guy like this. So if Julio Jones can stay healthy the entire year, I mean, Mike Vrabel can coach. He can. Whether people hate on me or not, Mike Vrabel can fucking coach a football team. And let's just face it now, Julio Jones played in a Kyle Shanahan offense. Okay? They ran the ball more than anybody, that Atlanta team, when they went to the Super Bowl. Okay? It's not like Julio Jones
his quarterback won MVP.
Just going to go to the Titans and not catch a ball. He knows what a running offense is. He's fine. He'll still get his catches.
I mean, you don't. Well, the fact of the matter is, you don't trade for Julio Jones if you don't intend to use
him, right?
Julio Jones. I'm interested to see how much of his salary, if any, Atlanta retains. I don't believe right now that Atlanta is taking on any of his salary. I believe the Titans are taking on the whole salary. There maybe we can always wait to see if things get worked into signing bonuses, things like that. But yeah, good landing spot. If he stays healthy, this makes the Titans offense incredibly dangerous on paper.
Absolutely. And every secondary in the AFC is put on notice. That dude is legit if he stays healthy.
100%. So let's go into a little NHL playoffs while we're here. You are more of a hockey guy than me. My Bruins fell 4-1 last night. I don't know what happened. It was 1-1, and then I fell. I think 1-1 or 2-1. Then I fell asleep, and then all of a sudden we lost 4-1. I mean, I thought they were playing better than that. Apparently they fell apart. I still think they can pull out that series.
We Yeah, we bullshitted before when they beat the Penguins that this series is absolutely going to go 7 games. There wasn't any really doubt in my mind. This NHL playoff this year, it's so weird that in North America they have almost full capacity crowds. I mean, in Tampa they had 9,600 the other day, close to it, in their stadium, and then you pan to the Winnipeg Montreal series, and it's crickets because there's not one single person in the arena. So it's crazy to see that way. But
Well, I think it's great to see in all sports right now in North America, the fans being back in the stands.
it changes it.
I feel like some people forgot how important the fans can be.
Oh, absolutely, especially home field or home ice.
And
I mean,
you saw it. Like I think you saw it last night in the Bruins game. That Islanders crowd was going live. I got to give credit where credit's due. Even though I can't stand New York teams, I am from
the
Boston.
Nassau Coliseum is, I mean, ruckus, and they're not even in full capacity. That's what's mind blowing to me. I can't imagine that place at standing room only in the playoffs. But Colorado, I had them winning the cup this year. They're duking it out with Vegas right now. It's a fucking great series. Vegas Vegas is my other team since the Penguins got eliminated. I don't know what Pete DeBoer was thinking about starting Robin Lehner. He was a fucking garbage in game 1, so it cost him a full game. So now the series is tied at 2-2, and I'm pretty sure it's going back to Colorado. So we'll see. Colorado lost an edge the other night. They were up by 2 goals, and they lost by 1 in the last 38 seconds. So let's see if this Colorado team can bounce back. We touched on the Bruins a little bit. I still believe the Bruins are going to win this in 7. I mean, home ice and Tuukka Rask. No, right? Yeah. I think they're the higher seed, aren't they?
I believe so. I
think. Don't quote me on that. If they're home at TD Garden,
don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said shit.
Yeah, if they're home at TD Garden against the Islanders in Game 7, I'm going to take Tuukka Rask at home. I'm not going to. That guy, when healthy and on his game, is the best goaltender in the NHL.
Dude, you're speaking higher of Tuukka Rask than most fucking Bruins fans.
I know. But you can just prove to me from last year that he was the missing piece of that team last year. Jarl Halak is not the answer, and I don't know if they really have anybody behind him. I know the Subban boy was there, but I don't think he's there anymore. The Winnipeg and the Montreal series is getting real gory, real fast. They're real chippy. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I think it was a bullshit. I mean, 4 games for that is just horseshit, in my opinion. If you want to give Mark Scheifele a max fine plus, a game, maybe, I can understand that. The charging was absolutely unnecessary, but I heard in the back of my head, he looked up, saw Scheifele coming, put his head immediately back down, and Scheifele ran through him. I get it. It's not a play that you want to see. You want all this player safety talk. But man, 4 games is kind of steep in my opinion. Me, Harry, Jet, and Andrew Kahn were all talking about it. I felt pretty indifferent about it, honestly. I've seen worse in the playoffs, and I don't know. I thought it was too much for that hit. And then my favorite series in the East, I thought both of these teams had a chance to win a Stanley Cup this year, but it seems that the Tampa Bay Lightning are the deepest team in the NHL. I mean, they were down 4-2 in the second period. It came back and won 6-4. I mean, Peter Mrazek is bad. He is not good. I stressed at the beginning of the playoffs. He is not good. I stressed at the beginning of the playoffs that the goaltending for the Carolina Hurricanes will be their downfall, and it absolutely has been their downfall. Last night was a blip on the radar because the defense was absolutely horrid. I mean, they had no zone control. The Tampa Bay Lightning power play is absolutely electric right now, and they let them get on the power play, and that pretty much put Carolina in. They're down 3-1, and it's very, very rare in the NHL books that you come back and win this entire series. So the Tampa Bay Lightning should be moving on, and they'll be playing the winner of the Boston Bruins and the Islanders.
All right, and so since I clicked on it while you were finishing up, and I already talked about it the week after it, the 2 days after it premiered, but I didn't have someone who had seen it with me, and so now Luke has seen the Friends reunion because I convinced Luke that Friends was a great show. I did the Lord's work.
You did.
This is what I do. I contribute to society in my own ways.
I have more culture now.
Yes, I culture people.
Yeah.
But I mean, so you're a newer fan of the show. You're not
correct
as long running of a fan of the show as me, I guess. But what were your thoughts on the reunion? I loved it.
I loved it. I thought it was a little too short. It seemed a little choppy to me, but from the bloopers that I've seen on like YouTube and stuff, they should have just left it in. I mean, it's already on HBO Max, so what's the point of shortening it? In my opinion, but I loved it.
Yeah, there's no point.
I think honestly, the best part was when Jen literally called him Joey. She was like, "Well, it always gets Joey." And I was like, this is fucking awesome. She has no idea that she just called Matt LeBlanc Joey. And
because like that's just who they are to each other. Like,
yeah, I loved it.
The fact that they were all actually friends, to me was like, I needed that in my life. That was a nice little like.
Yeah, they didn't. There was no hatred. There was no jealousy. It was, we're here to do a show, and they came, they did their work, and they went home, and it was awesome.
And like me and you talked about, man, everyone makes fun of the laugh track for that show. People are realizing that was a live studio audience. Like,
and I didn't know that. I had no idea.
I mean, that makes it more impressive.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no like, everyone came back. I loved Mr. Heckles coming back.
Yes.
And being in character was absolutely amazing to me.
And then I heard Janice's voice, and I was like, oh, my God. There's Janice.
That was great. I mean, you had to bring Janice back.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was it was just fun. It was a good time.
It was wholesome. It was wholesome. I needed it. And what honestly made the whole night for me was when they asked
I know what you're gonna say.
Blanking on the names, if they were gonna do a revival, and she was like, no, we're pretty happy the way it ended. So we're good. I was like, I can't imagine the money that was probably thrown at them to have one more episode or something. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine
think about that in the 90s.
Yeah.
Seinfeld was offered like $10 million to do a 10th season of Seinfeld and turned it down. So imagine what, like,
I can't imagine
nowadays they would offer something like Friends.
I mean, you're probably
come back for a season or something. Netflix, like, if Netflix or a streaming service was able, they would have to. My God, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars.
I mean, if you're talking a one-off episode, I mean, you're talking probably close to $200 million. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind.
For one episode, you're probably talking close to $200 million.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And she was like, "No, we're happy
for one 25-minute episode, and that still might not even get it done."
Yeah. She was just like, "No, we're happy the way it ended, so we're gonna leave it the way it is." And I'm like, "Yo." I'm just saying, if I saw that paycheck, I'm like, fuck. But they're stern. They said, we're happy the way it ended, and that's it. We're done.
Hey, sometimes you got to do that, though. Sometimes you just got to keep your show the way it is.
And it ended perfectly. It ended.
It did. No, it ended. They were all in a good spot.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I still wouldn't mind a Joey spinoff. I know they tried that and they screwed it up, but like, I'll write the show. I'll do it. Me and you can do that.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we're good.
I can write a show for Matt LeBlanc. No worries. Matt, if you're listening. Yeah, just give me a call. I know you're a Boston guy. I'm a Boston guy. Even though you're a Newton guy and I'm a Dedham guy, you're kind of a yuppie. But
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
yeah, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
We'll touch on the NBA playoffs real quick, if it will come up. Yeah. So we got the Lakers eliminated.
Bounce.
Which I love. Did not want the Lakers winning in 18th banner, even though they really only have 12 banners because they claim 5 from Minnesota, yet don't claim any of the Minnesota players. Whatever. That's a story for another day. I don't like the Lakers.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't noticed that about me. LeBron I have never seen LeBron uninterested in the playoffs. I have seen him underperform in the playoffs. We know that's the thing. He's underperformed at times. He's overperformed many times.
Yeah.
He looked uninterested to the point that after they got eliminated, he just promoted Space Jam 2, which doesn't even look that good.
Yeah, just went straight to.
He's like, dude, what are you talking about? I came to LA to film a movie anyway.
Yeah. Let me preface this by saying I am not an NBA person, okay, guys?
Yeah,
don't with me, okay? Like, if you want to come at me with your takes, okay, cool, but I don't give a shit about the NBA, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be so happy if both LA teams get bounced. I would be the happiest person in the world because they talk the most shit ever. Both of those LA teams don't give two shits about them. Okay. Phoenix, I loved the Chris Paul thing at the beginning of the year. We talked about it on ITL right before the NBA season started, and I thought
I love this Phoenix team. I love this Phoenix team after that series. That's my team for the rest of the playoffs moving forward because the Celtics are out.
I thought
obviously I love that team. I love them talking shit to the Lakers.
Yeah. I love the Chris Paul signing at the beginning of the year. It was fantastic, and I boasted about it. I picked them as my team for the year, and lo and behold, hey, they made it to the second round. So, hey, that's not too bad. Atlanta pretty much bounced the New York Knicks, and I did not mind it one bit. I know Will's happy that the Hawks moved on.
Yeah, but now Joel Embiid is back for the Sixers, so the Hawks have to play the Sixers with Joel Embiid. And sorry, Will.
Yeah,
hate saying it because I hate the Sixers, but the Sixers are going to win that series, I believe. Yeah, the Mavericks and the Clippers have Game 7 in about an hour from now.
Yep.
That has been a fucking crazy series.
Yeah.
Kawhi and Luka are both going off. Somehow the Clippers don't know how to play defense anymore. It's crazy to me. Whatever. I don't care. The games have been fucking fun to watch. I think this is anybody's game tonight. I don't even know. I don't even know. I can't even predict a winner right now.
Assuming it's in LA, I would assume.
Yes.
Luka has been absolutely on fire. And I'm telling you right now, Steve, if I'm a 7-footer that can shoot a 3, I have to average more than 2 fucking points a game, Kristaps Porzingis. Like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? You have 2 points. You're 7 foot tall. Turn around. I'm tired of that dude. Like, you gotta have more than 2 points.
Yeah. Hey, and he's supposed to be the co-star.
Right. Like, you're supposed to be the outlet, and now you're like, hey. Oh, Brooklyn and Milwaukee, that was a good game last night.
That was a good game. But
they didn't have James Harden.
That was without Harden. Like,
he
was
he literally warmed up, went out there, shot a layup, came back.
He played I think he played 1 minute of the game. Yeah. So, and I mean, that's actually, dude, I give the Celtics even more credit for like how they hung in against that Brooklyn team with absolutely nobody on their team. The fact that Milwaukee kept it close, but I mean, they still lost by 8 points without James Harden playing.
Right.
Like, that's so. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Blake Griffin got 14 rebounds, so
he is alive. It's not the bones of
Yeah, Blake Griffin did not die in Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is alive. Where that was I believe that qualifies as a Blake Griffin sighting.
Yeah. It's not the Ghost of Christmas Past with Blake Griffin.
It is not the Ghost of Christmas Past. It is that was in fact Blake Griffin.
Yeah. And listen, before we hop on
the Nets are gonna. I think the Nets are winning the series.
Yeah. Giannis don't have enough up there. I know they have Chris Middleton and a couple other
Drew
pieces,
Holiday, yeah, but that's not. I mean, it's Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. It's fucking. No. It's fucking ridiculous. And then when you add in the fact that like Blake Griffin can still go out and get you 14 rebounds in a fucking game.
Right. I mean,
like
if he's hitting the boards that good, I mean, what hope do you have at that point? And listen, the last thing I want to say on this whole Laker debacle situation, don't give me LeBron doesn't have enough around him.
Oh my God. I'm tired of hearing that.
Listen, LeBron wanted this team. He is the GM, okay? He wanted this team. You traded everybody. You traded everything you had to get Anthony Davis. Kyle Kuzma is not good, okay? Anthony Davis goes.
You said he was better than Tatum. He is not, in fact, better than Jason Tatum.
No, he's not. No.
They are not even a comparable player.
No, it's not even close. So don't give me the LeBron doesn't have enough. Fuck off with that. I don't want to hear that.
I'm tired of hearing that. I've been hearing that his whole career. So my movie of the week review is going to be a short one because I was going to write an article for it as well, but it's still in theaters, so I can't write an article without spoiling shit, and I'm not going to spoil a movie that's still in theaters that a lot of people probably haven't seen yet. Wrath of Man, the Jason Statham, Guy Ritchie movie, the armored truck robberies. Fucking awesome. I rented it last weekend. I paid the $20 to rent it on my TV.
Blockbuster?
No, I don't think there's one in Massachusetts anymore.
No,
maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Probably a Shrine.
Yeah, we could have that. I used to go to Blockbuster as a kid. Blockbuster was a good fucking spot, dude.
Absolutely.
It's a good fucking popcorn at Blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I feel old. But yeah, dude, Wrath of Man this was a fun movie.
Yeah.
Jason Statham is confirmed a badass. I mean, dude, it's Guy Ritchie as well. Of course, this movie is told in like Guy Ritchie fashion. Statham basically like is the mysterious dude working for this armored truck robbery company. They get jacked immediately, and he just fucking mows everyone down. It's fucking awesome.
Got him.
And then, like, I mean, you see the whole thing. You find out, like, they tell it in Guy Ritchie fashion of how his kid gets killed by an armored truck crew, and he goes undercover to try to find out who the inside man is at this company. And there's apparently in this universe, there's like 5 armored truck heists a week. At least. Because these things, there's just so many scenes of that. They're just getting jacked constantly.
Are we talking
this company like really needs to work on their security? What did you say?
We're talking like Brinks trucks?
Yeah. Yeah, like catch trucks.
Just jacking.
But yeah, fun movie. It was my really only complaint is, which I kind of went into expecting. It's 145 minutes long, which I'm not mad about the runtime. Yeah. I complained about a short runtime last week, so I'm not going to complain about a long runtime.
Yeah.
But there was only what I'd consider 2 real action scenes. What I'd consider 2 action scenes. What I'd really consider an action scene. Mm-hmm. And they were great action scenes, but you got a 2.5 hour Jason Statham armored truck heist movie.
And there's only a couple, like a handful of.
Yeah, I mean, there's scenes where like people get shot and it's quick, like little things, but it's not like a fight scene,
like Michael Bay shit.
Yeah, it's not an action piece. Like it's not a set piece, and that's really my only complaint is 2.5 hours of Jason Statham, and I only get. I mean, he only kills like 8 people, maybe 12
in a 2.5-hour movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if it's a Guy Ritchie movie and you're going all the way with the story, I mean, it's Jason Statham. Like he usually kills. Dude, he kills like 6 people. Dude, he kills 6 people in the first 5 minutes, and then he maybe kills like 4 more.
Yeah, I said a dozen. So
yeah, I mean that's my only. It's my only real complaint that I got there.
We're doing movie reviews. It's my goal now to watch a new movie every week, and I found one this week on Netflix, and I think I would assume you've probably seen it, but it's called Domestic Disturbance with John Travolta.
Oh, that's an awesome movie. I will actually.
Vince Vaughn.
You know what? Do you want to? I will watch that again because I just saw that's on there. Do you want to come back next week and we'll do
a review of it because it was really, really good. I've never seen Vince Vaughn as like a bad guy before. He's always been in like comedies or like Jurassic Park.
Except for the Psycho remake, but yeah, he does well in that movie. That's a fun movie.
It was really a good movie. So tune in next week when we do that review because it's really good.
So you know of my new movie review ranking system, correct, Luke?
Is it on bluecollarmedia.com?
It is not. It should be on there. But I premiered it last week when I was on with Ernest. I don't do the star rating anymore because that's just corny and cliche and everyone fucking does it. And I'm not like everybody else.
Correct.
So I do the puff system because I smoke a shitload of pot.
Beautiful.
So there's the stamp of approval is the best it can be. 1 puff, 2 puff, 3 puff, 4 puff, 5 puff.
Beautiful.
Wrath of Man on the puff scale will get 1 puff. It does not quite get the general stamp of approval because I wanted Jason Statham to murder more people.
Yeah. I mean, that should just be, you hear Jason Statham, like there's going to be murder. Like, come on.
Yeah. I wanted to see more people dead.
Yeah.
That maybe that sounds fucked up, but yeah, I'll give it 1 puff. It is a great movie. If you have the time to watch it, it is definitely worth a watch. Guy Ritchie is an incredible director. The script is very well written for what it is. It's definitely worth a watch. And now I found a few for us, Luke.
Oh boy.
We got to do some triple T's here.
Beautiful.
So Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather are fighting tonight. If this was on a Saturday night, they would have got my money because I want to see Logan Paul get knocked the fuck out. But I can't stay up that late on a Sunday night when I have to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning the next day to watch this. This take will just have to let this sink in. When you really look at it, the 2 fighters are just about even.
Well, the last time I checked, Floyd Mayweather is 50-0. Jake Paul.
Yeah, the last time
Logan Paul is 0-1 or 0-2.
Yeah, Logan Paul had a draw with a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather
has never lost.
Not even as he never lost a fight. He has never been knocked down to the mat.
Yeah.
It's 50 professional fighters. You can tell me all you want about how he handpicked the fighters. You can tell me Logan Paul is going to be 40 pounds heavier than him, 100. I don't care, dude. I saw someone like post because Logan Paul posted a workout video. People are saying they might bet on Logan Paul for the fight. No,
lose your money then. I mean, I'm so tired of this.
First of all, since it's an exhibition, there will be no winner or loser announced. The only way to win money on Logan Paul winning this fight is if he knocks out Floyd Mayweather. I can tell you
I'm assuming
one
there's
thing.
just prop bets. There's nothing really probably outside.
I can tell you one thing. He's not knocking out Floyd Mayweather.
No.
It will not happen. Even if it's scripted for Floyd to take a dive, Floyd ain't writing in for him to get knocked out by no YouTuber.
No, and I'll tell you right now,
that desperate for money.
There is no script in America that says Floyd Mayweather is losing to Logan Paul. There's not one fucking script in America that says it.
No, because like if you put that in a script, you'd be like, "Wow, dude, you're an idiot." How do you think that's gonna work?
I'm trying to find this tweet my brother sent me. I can't find it, but all I know is he's won 50 fights and against 50 great opponents, whatever you want to say. And I'll tell you right now, this is the last sideshow I will ever watch because he has made everybody in this generation look like a fucking clown. And this dude's going to be no different.
Yeah. Ridiculous. I saw people. Oh, I saw this. I hate to do it to a Patriots fan. Talking about Julio Jones. This dude really chose to Ryan Tannehill over Cam Newton with like the slap in his face emoji. First of all, dude, Julio Jones knows more about football than you do. Julio Jones didn't really choose anything because he doesn't have a no trade clause. He was traded by. He was just traded by the Falcons. It's really not.
They got the best deal that they had on the table, and they traded him.
Yeah. That's just, and you know what, dude? Cam Newton had a shit season last year. You guys can't tell me he didn't. He did not play good last year. I don't care what he had around him. He could not throw the ball. He had shitty mechanics. His arm did not look right. I expect him to play better this year. I am rooting for him to play better this year. But
if you tell me
play good last year,
Julio Jones goes there with last year's Cam Newton, it doesn't fucking change the record by one win. It doesn't.
And I mean, I don't. And again, like I feel So I'm gonna go into another one. Take here. Belichick, the GM, sucks because he's killing Belichick, the coach. Which we keep realizing this. We keep hearing this one in Boston. Yeah, it's a classic thing. He's got to get fired for missing out on this trade because he traded a second for Mohamed Sanu, but won't trade a second for Julio Jones because he's afraid to pay the money and he won't rework his contract.
First of all,
Belichick can't just rework the contract on his own. Julio Jones needs to agree to a restructured contract.
First of
all, the trading a second and a fifth and taking on $15 million in cap. You know what? To be honest, the Patriots with the quarterback questions, even though their roster is amazing, as good as Julio Jones is, they have questions at quarterback still. They do.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Mac Jones play in an NFL game. We don't know if Cam Newton's going to be good again.
Yeah.
That doesn't put you any closer to Super Bowl contention. And if you're going to say Belichick's a bad GM, sure, he's made mistakes. The guy has been the GM and head coach of the greatest professional sports run. One of the greatest professional sports runs in the history of all professional sports for the last 20 years. One of the most dominant franchises ever.
Honestly, Steve, here's my thing, okay? Coming from a completely unbiased third party, the Mohamed Sanu trade was an absolute necessity at the time because there was nothing.
That's the other thing is I think you have to add the context of that to it. Is you needed, and you actually looked like you could be competitive if you got
something
like you had to get something. You had to try.
They needed something. So Mohamed Sanu was available. They gave what they had. Okay, whatever. He
And
didn't
he
come
was
out.
available for way less money.
Okay,
The contract was a big
so
deal.
the salary cap. Okay, so Belichick signed all these guys in the offseason. He worked his magic, and this year, I mean, their cap hits pretty much nothing for this year.
And so there's this whole complaint that the Patriots still don't have a true wide receiver one.
Okay, but you
True
still don't
wide
have
receiver
true
one.
quarterback number one. So
Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing. You usually need to get QB1 before you get wide receiver one. Second of all, dude, I don't wide receiver one isn't like really a real position in the NFL. Like, sure, there's your top guy. There's your guy that you go to the most. There's your better guy that draws the most coverage. But you
I
don't need a true wide receiver one. There's they have the two tight ends. They have two of the top tight ends in football. So the offense is going to
go
run
back
through the tight
to
ends.
back to the Josh McDaniels of old, and it'll be a 2 tight end set.
So
right?
and I mean that's the plan is the tight ends, play action, a couple of deep balls to Aguilar, right?
Yep.
And a little like Kendrick Bourne in the slot. Kendrick Bourne playing some slot roles. That's
the whole misnomer
underneath roads. That's so. I mean, yeah, obviously I'd like Julio Jones, but
I'm gonna say the misnomer of wide receiver one. I totally agree with you because there's a couple teams that yes, they have a true number one that I can say. The Pittsburgh Steelers do not have a true number one. They have two guys in Juju Smith-Schuster and Chase Claypool that pretty much split the one. I mean, that's where the majority of the yards are going to get.
I think you're better if you don't have a true number one because you're spreading the ball around more.
Correct.
And that's what you're supposed to do. That's what makes you more dangerous. If you're hitting multiple guys at once.
If you go to Cleveland, they have Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, and Austin Hooper. Really, there's not a true set number one up there, in my opinion. There's not.
Even in Kansas City.
Baltimore does not have a true number one.
Who's the number one between Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce?
Correct. And you're splitting hairs. I mean, you could sit here all day and argue who could be number one, but in retrospect, they're both number one. So I really don't.
It all depends on
number one. But I'm telling you right now, if Julio Jones is healthy, he gives the Titans 2 wins. He does. I think it changes them by 2.
Yeah. Here's my thing. For the Patriots trading for Julio Jones, if you want, with all the money you invested to the tight end position, and with if you the Patriots traded for him, if you have Julio Jones, you're going to pay him all that money. You
gave up all this $15 million this year, and then the rest of his contract. Right.
And the money you paid Aguilar, the money you paid Bourne, the money you paid the tight ends. So you have to now. I mean, you have to target all of these guys, or what did you pay the money for, right?
Right. And now, I mean, you got to pay Sony Michel, right?
No. I believe they're gonna. I think this is it for Sony Michel.
Okay.
This is probably his last year in New England. It's the end of his rookie contract.
There's the other now. Now you have a QB. We still have no QB1. You have a split at 1 for wide receiver, and next year you don't have a running back.
You don't go and add Julio Jones to that offense, I don't think, unless you're ready to run a full-on spread off for that price to run. Unless you're ready to run like a full-on spread, and you're going to go at teams and throw the ball 40 times a game.
The Patriots weren't a Julio Jones away from a Super Bowl. They're not.
Yeah, and Cam Newton isn't going to throw the ball 40 times a game. He's never been that guy.
No, this Patriots team coming up this year is built to win 24-21. That is what this team is built for next year. That they're gonna duke it out, let the defense play, and they're gonna
score. The Patriots defense. I love how we're just going on about the Patriots right now, but the Patriots defense is going to be nice this year.
Correct.
That
If they
defense is going
hold,
to feast.
if they can hold teams to 21 points, they're going to win a lot of games.
Which they can. I'm assuming that with all these additions, that
there's no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind they can hold most teams to 21 points.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for tuning in, everybody. This has been another episode of Sundays with the General. Better late than never, I guess, right?
Yep.
But yeah, as always, I am the General. I am your host, the General Steve Reisner, the co-founder of the Blue Collar Media Group, and that's it. We will have an article out. Not sure who's going to write it yet. We will have an article out sometime tomorrow. More in-depth look at the Julio Jones to the Tennessee Titans trade.
Yeah.
Just Luke, do you tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Hearts on Hockey. I've got plenty of new stuff coming out now. Loki comes out this week, so be sure to keep on the lookout.
Watch the Blue Collar Cantina. Will be back.
The Blue Collar Cantina will absolutely have a walkthrough for Loki, so be on the lookout for that. I am in the process of renovating a house, so there's probably going to be plenty of tweets about how horseshit it is. And always great with you, General. I love it. We're 1 week closer to the NFL kickoff, and I couldn't be happier.
Yes, and keep in mind, folks, when we hit NFL kickoff, the show will be moving back to 12 o'clock Eastern time on Sundays, and we'll be moving back to the NFL break room because I love talking about movies and anything else with people, but fucking football is football. I talk football on Sundays during the NFL season.
Hey, also, we are 2 months away from our live video in Texas.
The Blue Collar Media Group official expo down in beautiful Harlingen, Brownsville, Texas.
Yep.
At Taquitos Express, the sponsor of Into the Lab. We'll be doing a live show all night in between Taquitos and the bar next door to it. That's literally just called The Bar. They're very good at naming stuff. I really like them. We're probably going to have them start naming stuff for us in the future. Yep. Because, that's how I like to name shit. Straight to the point. It's going to be a hell of a time. Yeah. But thanks for coming out, everybody. And the broadcast.